Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to Ziggy Air. Today we are in San Jose, Costa Rica. It's a beautiful morning here in Costa Rica. And we are at the Juan Santa Maria International Airport. And it's nice to see some tropical vegetation around here. And today we're flying to Cartagena, Colombia in our trek around the world in the TBM 850. And we're also evaluating Sayintentions.Ai as we fly around the world. And we're grading Sayintentions.Ai and how they perform in our trek around the world. We've been flying it in a few of the segments here that we've done around the world, but we decided that we're going to use it all the time and evaluate how they're performing, because they're making a lot of changes. They're improving a lot of the procedures. For example, departures are pretty good, but as they acknowledge, arrivals and approaches are still a challenge. So every time we fly, we're gonna grade them in departure taxiing, contact with tower and departure, cruise, arrival and approach, and taxiing into the destination airport. At the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. We're just gonna give them kind of a grade and see how they're doing. And at the end of our trek around the world, which is, we still have the South America and then the Caribbean, and then we're moving into the northeast of the United States. We still have the ways to go, so we have plenty of time to evaluate how well they're doing in this stage of their development. Just want to remind you, take a pause here. If you like this videos and you get something out of it, just give me a thumbs up and a like button there. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. We do have a lot of interesting videos and important videos that you don't want to miss. And of course, Ziggy wants me to always plug in that if you're going to get a pet co-pilot, go ahead and save a life. All right, so let's get into the TBM. We're going to contact addons, and then we're going to get the TBM started. So we got the Sayintentions.Ai started here, and they take a little time to find out where you are, and they correctly identified our departure airport here at Juan Santa Maria International. And if you haven't done so, you can, if you're using Sayintentions.Ai, you can sync your Navigraph account with Sayintentions.Ai. The other thing that they've done is that they created an app on your iPad or your computer where you can just go ahead and, using Comlink, select the frequencies, and you don't have to mess around. Although the 750 is easy to do, but it's also easy to do on the iPad here. All right, so addons is 127,675, and we're gonna get our TBM started so we can have some power for the comm radios. All right, let's get the TBM started here, and it's fairly easy, but you should know by now if you're following my channel. The whole procedure: we get the oxygen on, crash bar goes up, battery on, generator to main, ignition to on, and we're going to make sure that we have our auxiliary boost pumps to on and our fuel selector to auto. Half tank should be enough. All right, so that should be enough to get the starter going. And we're looking for an NG of 13%. Right there, low idle. And we're going to take a look at our ITT. Wow, must be really warm out there. No, it's not really. It's only 23 degrees Celsius. All right, so it's settled down. It was kind of a hot start, and that should be fine. We're going to turn off the starter. Boost pump goes to auto. Ignition to auto. And we're gonna get the bleed air going here. High. Gonna turn on the AC and the fan flow. Make sure Ziggy is comfortable here today. And AP trains on. Gyros on. And radio master goes on. EFIS master's on. RPMs, max RPMs, and then we're going to idle.
QNH101A. Arriving and departing runway 7. Visual approaches in use. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery on 121.3. Advise on initial contact. You have information X-ray.
So we have information X-ray.
Santa.
All right, we set up our clearance delivery comm here, and we're going to get in touch with them. Turn on our inertia separator before we do that, and pitot and stall heats. Xanax sent clearance delivery, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet. We'd like to pick up our IFR to Cartagena, and we have information X-ray. We're going to turn on Janet here. And Janet is our tour guide.
Ziggy Air N123 Romeo Juliet Coco clearance. I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
And it's Coco clearance. I like that. Coco clearance.
Ziggy Air N123 Romeo Juliet Coco clearance. Information X-ray is correct. Cleared to Rafael Nunez via the ATNA 4 departure, then is filed. Departure runway 07. Initial climb to 4,000 feet. Departure on 120.5. Squawk 4671.
Cleared to Rafael Nunez via the Athena 4 departure, then is filed. Departure runway 07. Initial climb to 4,000 feet. Departure on 120.5. Squawk 4671. Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet. Now let's see if they give us information is correct here, or because they haven't been doing that lately.
Ziggy Air 23 Romeo Juliet readback correct. Expect runway 25. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Pretty good. Excellent. Ground on 121.9er. Thank you. Ground on 121.9er. Select that. Meantime, we're just going to pick up our flight here and put it in on our 750. All right, we can get in touch with ground and request taxi to runway 7. 1 Santa Maria ground, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet would like to request taxi to runway 7 for IFR departure.
Ziggy Air N123 Romeo Juliet Coco Decimal ground taxi to runway 7 via Alpha. And contact tower on 118.6 when you're ready for departure, all right?
All right, Coco, point ground taxi to runway 7 via Alpha, and we'll contact departure on 118.6. I think they mean departure or tower. Yeah, they meant tower. I think she's probably A little bit confused today here in San Jose because it's a beautiful day. We're good to go. We're just gonna take a left here onto Alpha, and that should do it. All right, so we got 4,000 on our initial departure here. We're gonna set our pressurization to 10,000 for now, and looks good. We're gonna taxi to the end of the runway. We're gonna want to use all of the available runway here at Santa Maria Airport in Costa Rica. Looks like we have someone in front of us right now. Yeah, he is going and he's departing, so we should be next in line here. Santa Maria Tower, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet at holding point runway 7, ready for takeoff.
Ziggy Air and 123 Romeo Juliet Coco Decimal Tower, wind 090 at 5 runway 7, cleared for takeoff. Fly runway heading until reaching 3,000, then on course.
Clear for takeoff, fly runway heading until reaching 3,000, then on course. Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet. All right. So far so good on this taxi and departure here for. And all right, ready for takeoff. Set power. Power is set. Keep that center line there. Speed is alive. knots, V1, and rotate. Not sure why I'm getting a master caution right here. Move that up. All right. Tap the brakes. Gear up. Set the yaw damper here. We'll fly runway heading.
Ziggy Air 23 Romeo Juliet, contact departure on 120.5.
Departure 120.5. Thank you. We can go onto 815 mode. I'll turn on
Ziggy Air 23 Romeo Juliet radar contact, and just to keep you updated, QNH 1017.
QNH 1017. Thank you. And let's go on to 815 mode. There we go.
Ziggy Air 23 Romeo Juliet, contact Coco approach on 129.5.
129.5. Ziggy Air November 123 for Romeo Juliet. 121. Coco approach, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet at 10,000 for 12,000.
Ziggy Air and 123 Romeo Juliet Coco approach, good evening. San Jose, Alajuela, QNH 1015.
1015. Transition altitude here is
right below us now is the Mirador al Golfo de Nicoya, a spot where you can stare at the vast expanse of water and wonder why it's not just called a big pond. It's a tourist attraction that's been around for ages, or at least since someone decided it was a good place to stop and not just keep walking.
So I'm keeping Janet on because sometimes I think it's entertaining and keeps it lively and all that. She's a little bit of an airhead, and but it keeps it light. Let me know if you're using tour guide with Sayintentions.Ai. At first, I wasn't too interested in doing it and setting it up or anything like that, but once I did, I kind of like it. It just makes a long flight kind of interesting. And in fact, I was flying around my hometown, and she pointed out something that I didn't know.
Ziggy Air and 123 Romeo Juliet Coco approach. Climb and maintain flight level 290.
Climb and maintain flight level 290, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet. Alright, 290 it is. We'll go up to that. And we'll do a climb checklist.
23 Romeo Juliet contact Center Center on 135.5.
Cinema Center at 135.5. Thank you. And contact Cinema Center. Cinema Center, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet with you at 14,400 for flight level 290.
Ziggy Air and 123 Romeo Juliet Cinema Center. Good evening, QNH 1013.
Alright, so we set our indicated airspeed here, and so far so good on this departure. And that's what I've been finding, that Sayintentions.Ai is really kind of spot on departures. And I made some mistakes here. They were on the correct in their instructions. Alright, so as I was saying, let me know if you use the tour guide with your Sayintentions.Ai. Let me know which tour guide you use. Sometimes people don't like it because it's distracting. Like I said, I like it on flights like this. It's interesting to hear some of the things. And as I was saying too, so I was flying on my hometown, and she pointed out something that I didn't know, and I've lived in this area for like 40 years. And I said, oh really, there is a footbridge across the river? I didn't know about it. And in fact, she was correct. Beautiful area in Costa Rica with mountains areas, and San Jose is right there nested between those two mountain ranges, and there's a volcano to our left here. In fact, we can ask Janet about that volcano. Janet, could you tell us a little bit about that volcano to our left?
The volcano to our left. A truly magnificent mound of nature's fury, isn't it? This particular volcano, part of Costa Rica's storied volcanic belt, has been around for more years than anyone count without getting bored. It's one of those natural wonders that has been puffing away since the Earth thought it might be a good idea to let off a bit of steam. People from all over the world come to gaze at it. Historically, it's been a bit of a show-off, erupting spectacularly in the past. It's a hotspot for geologists and those who enjoy a bit of ash with their morning coffee.
Yeah, so it's spot on. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, this teacher, maybe it was third grade, this teacher from Costa Rica came, and she was like a exchange teacher, and I grew up in Puerto Rico, so this is an exchange teacher that came in and did some teaching in third grade. And I remember hearing from her about this volcano, and I was mesmerized with her story. So pretty cool. All right, we got it to our cruise altitude here. We got 1,000 to go.
Off to our right, you'll find the Parador Fotografico and San Gerardo de Rivas, a place where tourists flock like birds to breadcrumbs, all eager to snap a picture that proves they've been somewhere. This spot, nestled in the heart of Costa Rica, offers breathtaking views of the surrounding mountains, which have been standing around for millions of years.
All right, so one thing we're going to monitor here, let's get rid of these procedures here, is handoff between centers to centers here. And we're now in Cinemax Center, and about, I would say about 20 minutes or so, we'll be crossing to Panama Center. So I'll just keep you updated in any of the I'll bring in the video, yeah, any of those points, so you don't have to put up with Janet or myself. All right, so we're just about to cross into Panama. So we got some on the coast there. I think that river marks the border between Costa Rica and Panama. Yeah, so my experience is that, you know, sometimes they're spot on, sometimes they are a little bit off in terms of the handoff. But here it's a little bit tricky here between Costa Rica and Panama Center and Panama Center, because it's skirting around the border here. So we'll give them some time here to and what I was doing, so I was just checking our Navigraph here. This is Panama Center here, and this is Panama Center, so we'll give them some time and see how that goes.
Right now, just below us, there's a little known yet fascinating spot called Boca's Nature. It's a place where nature probably decided to show off a bit, creating a lush, vibrant area that's as full of life as a teenager's party when their parents are out of town. Discovered by accident by a confused birdwatcher who thought he'd found a new species, but had actually just forgotten his glasses.
All right, we are getting Janet, but we're not getting handoffs here, which probably should have happened by now. Right, we are well into Panama City or Ciudad de Panama, and just close to it actually, right in front of us, right there at the mouth of that river, just ahead of that. And we still haven't heard a handoff from Sayintentions.Ai. Again, no handoff here. So just let's see, 135.5. Just want to make sure that we are correctly set up for center. Yes, we are. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn into center here at 125.5 and see if that corrects the issue, and we'll log it appropriately in our evaluation here. Panama Center, Ziggy Air, November 123 Romeo Juliet with you at flight level 290.
Ziggy Air N123 Romeo Juliet, Panama Center. Good evening.
Alright, so I'm glad I make contact with them just to make sure, because alright, so that's fine. We'll bring their grade down at least a couple of notches because of a failure to hand off to Panama Center.
As we fly over the vast, mysterious waters of the Caribbean, let's not forget the intriguing history of piracy that once dominated these seas. Back in the 17th century, this area was swarming with pirates, much like a shopping mall on Black Friday. These pirates weren't searching for discounted electronics, though. They were after gold, silver, and a good time. Famous pirates like Henry Morgan and Blackbeard called these waters home, terrorizing the high seas, and probably never worrying about vitamin C. It's said that the pirate life was chosen by those who really didn't fancy the 9-to-5 grind, or had particularly bad experiences with office politics. They were the freelancers of their time.
Ziggy Air N123 Romeo Juliet Panama Center. Expect the ILS runway 1 approach into Rafael Nunez via the KOPG-2B arrival. Be advised that IFR approaches are still under development and are unlikely to work properly at this time. Improvements are being made daily, but strap yourself in for a bumpy arrival.
Alright, so in this case, Janet interrupted this, so that's sometimes that happens, and maybe that's a reason not to have the tour guy in there. So expect ILS runway 1 approach into Rafael Nunez via the COPE G2B arrival. We understand the issues with IFR approaches and will take that in consideration. Ziggy Air, November 123, Romeo Juliet. Great. So we got the instructions for that, and we are expecting the ILS runway 1. Now they should hand us to Barranquilla Center.
Ziggy Air 23 Romeo Juliet, descend and maintain flight level 220.
Descend and maintain flight level 220. Okay, good. So, and we're going to make sure that we have this on our flight plan. Our procedure is our approach. Our arrival is COPG-2B, then that is correct. And ILS runway 1.
Ziggy Air 23 Romeo Juliet, descend and maintain 4,000.
Descend and maintain 4,000, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet. Alright, 4,000. All the way to 4,000. BS that to 1,500. Should be enough there. And pull back down the throttle just a bit. And so our approach is ILS 1. And our transition should be, let's check on our charts here.
Ziggy Air 23 Romeo Juliet, contact Barranquilla Center on 124.2.
Now they're spot on here. They've just crossed into Barranquilla according to Navigraph. Barranquilla Center on 124.2. Thank you. Have a good day. Barranquilla Center, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet at flight level 260 for 4,000. Alright, so I was checking on our approaches here.
Ziggy Air N123 Romeo Juliet, Barranquilla Center, roger.
And we're ILS runway 1. So the one that we have is Kiva. Is the most likely, the better approach here. So let me show you here. So ILS runway 1, Kiva, and then straight into runway 1. And that's what we'll take. And
right now, as you're soaring through the skies, you're near the Caribbean coast of Colombia, a place where the ocean is as blue as a really sad smurf. This area is steeped in history, much like a tea bag left forgotten in a mug by someone who got distracted by a phone call. It was first spotted by Spanish explorers.
so far, great on our arrival and approach here with Sayintentions.AI. Certainly, we can ask it if fuel had been an issue.
Ziggy Air N123 Romeo Juliet, Barranquilla Center, descend via KOPG-2B for the ILS runway 1 approach into Rafael Nunez, QNH 1010.
Great. Descend via the KOPG-2B into ILS runway 1 approach, QNH 1010. Thank you. So So we had that set up already. Just got ahead here. And that's gonna take us directly to Kebab. That is great. That's what I was gonna ask them, if they could do that, and turning direct into Kebab. Awesome. So great. I mean, it's funny because they said the approaches were still in development and there would be an issue, but so far so good on this approach. The only thing that we had some problems was, you know, handoffs during our cruise phase. So see over here, we are good at this rate.
As we glide effortlessly through the sky, much like a paper plane thrown by a toddler. We're currently flying over the majestic Caribbean Sea. This vast body of water, discovered by Europeans in the late 15th century during Columbus's voyages, has been a playground for both pirates and holiday-goers alike. It's famed not just for its crystal clear waters, but also for being the site where numerous historical events unfolded, like the Battle of the Caribbean in World War II. People who enjoy sun, sand, and occasionally finding buried pirate treasure really love this area. It's also a hot spot for divers looking to explore the vibrant coral reefs.
Thank you, Janet. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're gonna be at Kiva at 4,000. So far, so good. All right, just gonna check on our frequencies for our ILS. Well, depending on the weather, I think it's just cloudy, so we'll just do the ILS. I was thinking of do a visual, but we'll keep it on the ILS. Let's set our position altitude here at 250. Still there.
3 Romeo Juliet, contact Barranquilla, approach on 119.1.
Barranquilla approach on 119.1. Thank you. Barranquilla approach, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet at 5,000 for 4,000.
Ziggy Air N123 Romeo Juliet, Barranquilla approach. Good evening, QNH 1010.
Beautiful. 1010, that's our QNH. We got to the altitude. We need to be in here at Kiva. And our approach is going to take us to Simab. So from Kiva, we'll go to Simab. Give up to Simab, and we need to be at 3,000 when we get to Simab. Let's see if they give us that altitude. But regardless, we will respect that in our flight plan. See at our weather radar. Oh, we got some showers ahead. Nothing concerning here, so that's good. Looks like we may be turning into these showers over here.
Ziggy Air N123 Romeo Juliet, Barranquilla approach. Proceed direct CMAP. Descend and maintain 3,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 1 approach.
Beautiful, beautiful. Proceed direct to SIMUP, descend and maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Clear for the ILS runway 1 approach. Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet. Alright, let's go. We are going direct to SIMUP here. We'll set our altitude to 3000. Alright, let's start pulling back our throttle here and reducing our speed once we get to flight level 3000. I'm sorry, once we get to 3000. Course should be 100 right here based on our charts. We are looking good, my friends. Showers, not a
Ziggy Air
big.
23 Romeo Juliet, contact Rafael Nunez Tower on 118.3.
Tower on 118.3. Thank you. Have a great day.
To our left, or 9 o'clock, about 6 miles away, you'll find Jamaica Beach. A place as relaxing as our approach seems to be cautious. Jamaica Beach isn't just any beach. It's a sandy stretch where the Caribbean meets Colombia in a lazy, wave-lapping...
Alright, I'm turning Janet off here. And Rafael Nunez Tower. Rafael Nunez Tower, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet with you at 3000 inbound to land runway ILS runway 1. Alright, set of flaps here.
Ziggy Air N 123 Romeo Juliet Rafael Nunez Tower. Turn left heading 255 vectors for the ILS runway 1 approach. Ziggy Air N 123 Romeo Juliet Rafael Nunez Tower, turn left heading 235.
Turning left heading 235. Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet. And 235. Well, we are on track here, so that's a little bit. So maybe that we're starting the issues with approaches are starting to creep up here. Not gonna turn 235. We're just gonna get established on the localizer here. And
Ziggy Air 23 Romeo Juliet winds 176 at 11. Runway 1 cleared to land.
clear to land, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet. Alright, we got our sync right here. That's alright. A little bit of a crosswind. All right, very smooth landing here. All right, where are we going here? It looks to our left. And we'll have to contact ground. Cartagena Tower, Ziggy Air November 123 Romeo Juliet, requesting taxi to parking.
Ziggy Air 23 Romeo Juliet taxi to parking via hold short of runway 19er, then continue taxi at your discretion.
Taxi to parking via hold short of runway 19er, then continue at my discretion. Thank you, Tower. All right, so beautiful. We are here in welcome to Cartagena, Colombia, on a beautiful flight from Costa Rica. I do have to say, let's review our stages off the flight and information given by Sayintentions.Ai and how they perform. Let's get started on that. All right, well, consistent with our experience, departure was pretty good. So we have correct handoffs and altitudes given and all of that. So I'm going to give them an A on departure. Then we get to our cruise phase, and there was one particular issue where they didn't hand us correctly to actually to one of the centers here, from Center Center to Panama Center. That we didn't get a handoff there, and I had to change frequencies on it, but they correctly gave us a handoff to Barranquilla Center, so that was okay, that was good. Still some minor issues there. I'll give them a B- on that one. And then on our approach and landing, consistent with the issues they're having, we were giving wrong vectors by tower, so they're still having some issues with that. Nothing really bad. Otherwise, I would have given them a B+, but given that this was actually a big deal in terms of our landing, I would have to give them a C+. Everything else, the taxis were okay and all of that. So overall, I would have to say I'll give them a B on their performance today on this particular leg of our trek around the world in the TBM 850, and also evaluating how well Sayintentions.Ai is coming along and performing in different parts of the world. All right, my friends, thank you again for joining us on this flight with Ziggy Air. And remember, Ziggy Air will get you there. Ziggy Air is best in the air. My friends, I don't make this stuff up. I'm only told what to say. I'll see you on the next one.
De Colombia a España, Ziggy llegará con su aerolínea felina, a todos conquistará llevando esperanza.